verses 9 through 12. Exodus chapter 17, verses 9 through verse 12. Now, Exodus is the second book of the Bible. So you shouldn't be turning all day to get to the second book of the Bible. Exodus chapter 17, verse 9 through verse 12. These words are recorded, and it says, Moses said to Joshua, choose some of our men and go out and fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hand, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hand, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held his hands up, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained stretched until sunset. I want to talk about keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. You remember the story of Israel being in bondage under the hard taskmaster in Egypt. Now we see that God has delivered them out of the hand of Pharaoh and the Egyptian. In chapter 15 of Exodus, we see Moses and the people of Israel singing songs unto the Lord for his deliverance. You know that we don't have any problems praising God when he delivers us and brings us out of our trials and tribulation. But can we praise him while we are in the midst of our trials and tests? At the end of chapter 15, Israel moves to the wilderness of Shur. They were 3 days without water. They could not drink the water at Marah because it was very bitter. Therefore, being very thirsty, the people turned against Moses. Y'all know people will turn on us. Moses goes to God and pleads with him, and God shows Moses a tree and commanded him to throw the tree into the water, and the water became sweet. What a mighty God we serve. It was there that God laid out his conditions to test Israel's commitment to him. He says, if you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God and obey it and do what is right, then I will not make you suffer diseases I sent on the Egyptian. For I am the Lord who healed you. You know it is easy to agree to God's command right after he brings us out. We are happy. We will say whatever we need to say, whatever it takes, but not when we're in trouble, not when the burdens get heavy. Well, in chapter 16, we find that Israel moves to Elam and goes to Sin Wilderness. Once again, the people speaks bitterly against Moses and Aaron. Well, that's a word right there, brothers and sisters, is because right now, Pastor Robbins and Sister Robbins hadn't been here a long time. So everybody no doubt love him right now. Everybody's singing their praises. Everybody giving love offerings and banquets and all of that. But wait a little while. Everybody that's with you today won't be with you tomorrow. You know, it's funny, y'all, is that the people that voted for you gonna be your worst members later on. And the people that didn't vote for you is gonna be your best member. Have I got a witness here? Well, I know it's true. I experienced some of it. I've been in it long enough to experience it. And that's why I don't look down on people that made up their minds not to vote for me. Because I understand the scene will shift. I understand that sometimes people that voted for you think that you owe them something. They have a tendency to say, we put you in. We voted for you. Have I got a witness? But they don't understand that God knows how to use who he want to use to get the job done that he want to get done. But you better understand God controls it all. They say that at least back in Egypt, that's what people will tell you. Pastor Robert, at least back in Egypt we had plenty to eat. And that was graves for us to be buried. Now God has brought us out here to die. It's strange, y'all, that when we are in a bad situation, it isn't until we get into a worse situation before we realize that the bad situation wasn't so bad. It's hard to see the rainbow in the midst of a storm. But remember, every bad situation could be worse. God once again hears the complaints of Israel, and he gives them orders. He would rain down food from heaven, and they should gather as much food as needed. God would test them just to see if they would do what he commanded. God wanted them to take only what was needed day by day. But of course, like some of us, some of Israel was greedy and gathered more to have something for the next day. Some of us don't trust God. That means, y'all, that if you trust God, God will bring you out. But if you don't trust him, he'll allow maggots to get into the leftover food to show them that God is almighty. And without him, we could do nothing. Without him, we would fail. Without him, we'd be like a ship without a sail. You better add him in. You better not add him out. You better add him in. Isn't it somebody here today that's going through trials and tribulations, that somebody don't know how they're going to make it at the end of the month?